What's up, creatives, and welcome to another Romeo show. We've not got a Zentangle pattern for you this evening, but what we have got is a nice little trip to the William Morris Gallery. So what were you waiting for, folks? Let's roll the intro. What's up, everybody? How is everyone doing? Hope you've had a good week and a good weekend. If you're new to the show, my name is Romeo. I am a sketch artist and life coach. I draw people's portraits for them up to photorealism of their pets, family members, anything like that. And I also am a life coach as well. Uploading art therapy videos, Zentangle patterns, mandala drawings, helping you to fulfill any sort of dream, wish, desire that you may have through art therapy. You can either hook me up with a one-to-one session or we can meet in person. If you want to have a session with myself, you can email me at romeo@romeosketches.co.uk. They're the sort of things that I like to provide, and I also am an author as well. I upload lots of activity books, note planners, notebooks, journals, planners, all that sort of thing. I've just recently uploaded a gardener's book as well. If you're into your gardening and you want to be getting into outdoors and looking after all your plants, check out my gardener's book as well. And I also have a movie review book as well. So if you know anyone out there that's a movie buff, love watching their films, we've got a movie review book and I've got a horror review book as well up on my store. If you want to check out any of them books, just click the link that's in the description below. And yes, so for today, we're not going to be doing a Zentangle pattern. You guys can just sit back, relax, chill out, and have a little trip into Walthamstow's William Morris Gallery. It's a very, very cool gallery. If you happen to be passing through the area, you know, you can come down to the Walthamstow Central and then hook yourself up to the William Morris Gallery. It's a great little place to be. There's lots of things in there to see, all the stuff that the guy created, the textile of Walthamstow. You can see all his ceramics, fabrics, textiles, wallpapers that he designed, furniture, all that sort of thing in this place. It's a great little location with a nice little park in the back, behind it, the Lloyd's Park. I'll go into a little bit more detail with this in the actual video as well, but it's a nice place to sit back, relax. There's places to go and eat there, things to see. There's a skate park for the kids, a little park as well. Nice place to walk around. They do many garden parties throughout the year, during the year there as well, so it's worth looking out for that. And you know, we also have an art trail as well that they do once a year, which is where they have people sort of gather up and they go all the way around Walthamstow and they check out all the art that's up on the walls. They've commissioned people to paint murals on the walls, and they lead you to William Morris Gallery. So if that's your sort of thing, come down to Walthamstow and check out all the arts and crafts that we have going on in the town. It's absolutely brilliant. Lots of art shops as well to buy art related paintings to do with Walthamstow. People have painted themselves. There's quite a few along the Hoe Street as well. So lots of places to go and see, eat and drink on your walk up to the William Morris Gallery. So what were you all waiting for, folks? Let's check out this video. Sit back, relax, and let's roll the video. The William Morris Gallery is located in Walthamstow, as inside this beautiful Georgian architectural building. Sitting comfortably in Walthamstow, alongside with the park just next door, which is Lloyd's Park. Great place to meet friends, relax, do a little bit of shopping as well. They have lots of places to eat, drink, sit, relax. Even a skate park there for kids, and some great places for the kids to enjoy and play with many garden parties during the year as well. William Morris is best known as the 19th century's most celebrated designer, but he was also a driven polymath who spent much of his life fighting the consensus. A key figure in the arts and crafts movement, Morris championed a principle of handmade production that didn't chime with the Victorian era's focus on industrial progress. The collections that they have hold a huge amount of his work, not only wallpapers and textiles, but also carpets, embroideries, tapestries, tiles, and book designs. Morris was born in Walthamstow, East London in 1834. The financial successor of his broker father gave Morris a privileged privileged childhood in Woodford Hall, a country house in Essex, as well as an inheritance large enough to mean he would never need to earn an income. Time spent exploring local parkland, forests and churches, and an enthusiasm for the stories of Walter Scott helped Morris develop an early affinity with landscape, buildings, and a historical romance. He also had precariously strong opinions on design. On a family trip to London in 1851, Morris, then aged 16, demonstrated his loyalty to craft principles by refusing to enter the Great Exhibition, which championed machine age designs on the grounds of taste. After school, Morris went to Oxford University to study for the church. It was there that he met Edward Burne-Jones, who was to become one of the era's most famous painters and Morris's lifelong friend. Burne-Jones introduced him to a group of students who became known as the Set, or the Brotherhood, and who enjoyed romantic stories of medieval chivalry and self-sacrifice. They also read books by contemporary reformers such as John Ruskin, Charles Kingsley, and Thomas Carlyle. Belonging to this group gave Morris an awareness of the deep divisions in contemporary society and sparked his interest in trying to create an alternative to the dehumanizing industrial systems that produced poor quality, unnatural objects. In 1855, Morris and Burne-Jones went on an architectural tour of northern France that made both men realise that they were more committed to the arts than to the church. Soon after, Morris began work in an office of George Edmund Street, the era's leading neo-Gothic architects. Morris showed little talent for architecture and spent most of his time setting up Oxford and Cambridge magazine, a vehicle both for his own writing and that of other members of the Brotherhood. Morris left Street's office after only 8 months to begin a career as an artist. Burne-Jones's connection with the artist Dante Gabriel Rossetti, a central figure in the pre-Raphaelite group, soon led to Morris working with Rossetti as part of a team painting murals at the Oxford Union. While working in Oxford, Morris had a chance meeting with a local stableman's daughter, Jane Burden. Consciously flouting the rules of class, Morris married Jane in 1859, and her striking looks was to make her a model of idealised beauty for members of the pre-Raphaelite group for the next 30 years. Morris commissioned architect Philip Webb, who he had met during his time at Streets, to design and build a home for himself and his wife in rural Kent. In part, Morris wanted to realise the idea of a craft-based artistic community that he and Burne-Jones had been talking about since they were students. The result was Red House, a property that would be medieval in spirit and eventually able to accommodate more than one family. Morris and Jane moved into Red House in 1860 and, unhappy with what was on offer commercially, spent the next 2 years furnishing and decorating the interior with help from the members of their artistic circle. Huge murals and hand-embroidered fabrics decorated the walls, creating the feel of a historical manor house. Prompted by the success of their efforts and the experience of joy in collective labour, Morris and his friends decided in 1861 to set up their own interiors company, Morris, Marshall, Faulkner and Co. Everything was to be created by hand, a principle that will set the companies firmly against the mainstream focus of industrialised progress. Initially, Morris, Marshall, Faulkner and Co. specialised in the kind of wall paintings and embroidered hangings that had been produced for Red House, Although in its first few years, the company didn't make much money, but it did win a series of commissions to decorate newly built churches and became well known for work in stained glass. Morris had always wanted the firm to be based at Red House, but the practical restrictions of a small rural workshop, as well as the death of Burne-Jones's younger son, meant that the idea of medieval style craft-based community was abandoned. Morris sold Red House in 1865 and the family moved back to London. In the 1860s, two prestigious decorating commissions helped establish Morris Marshall Faulkner & Co.'s reputation. One for a new dining room at the South Kensington Museum, later being the V&A, and another at St James's Palace. During this period, Morris was also working in The Earthly Paradise, an epic poem with an anti-industrial message that established Morris as one of the foremost poets of his day. He was also busy producing his first wallpapers, whose designs were inspired by English gardens and hedgerows. To make them, he researched and revived historical printing and dyeing methods. This insistence on establishing a from-scratch understanding of process was to become a hallmark of Morris's career. In 1875, Morris became sole director of the renamed and restructured Morris & Company. Over the next decade, he continued to design at an impressive rate, adding at least 32 printed fabrics, 23 woven fabrics and 21 wallpapers, as well as more designs for carpets, rugs, embroidery and tapestry. To the company's range of goods, all of these were sold in the shop at Morris opened on Oxford Street in 1877. In a fashionable space that offered a new kind of all-under-one-roof retail experience, by 1881, Morris had built up enough capital to acquire Merton Abbey Mills, a textile factory in South London. This allowed him to bring all of the company's workshops together in one place and to have closer control over production. In his political life, Morris became increasingly disillusioned with parliamentary politics as a means of ending class division, and in 1884 he helped set up a new group called the Socialist League. He made frequent corner speeches and went on marches, but his fame protected him against the sanctions of disapproving establishment. Increasingly, Morris began to leave matters at Merton Abbey in charge of his assistant Henry Durrell and other senior members of the firm, including his daughter May. He did, however, continue his interest in tapestry, and for the last 5 years of his life was involved with Burne-Jones and Durrell on the set of panels based on the search for the Holy Grail. Towards the end of his career, Morris began to focus increasingly on his writing, publishing a number of prose narratives, including the most celebrated News from Nowhere in 1890. Infused with the socialist ideas and romantic optimism, this book offers Morris' vision of simple world in which art or work pleasure is demanded of and enjoyed by all. In 1891, the same year, he turned down the poet laureateship after the death of Tennyson. Morris set up Kelmscott Press. The books the press produced, eventually a total of 66, were printed and bound in medieval style, with Morris designing their typefaces, initial letters and borders. The most famous of these is an illustrated edition of the works of Geoffrey Chaucer, which was published in 1896, a few months before Morris's death. Walter House was constructed in 1762 and was Morris's family home in his teenage years, from 1848 to 1856. The building and its grounds were sold on to a newspaper proprietor, Edward Lloyd, in 1856, whose son donated the house and grounds, which then became Lloyd's Park, to Walthamstow in 1900. The building was not opened as a museum until 1950 by Prime Minister Clement Attlee. In March 2009, the Heritage Lottery Fund awarded the gallery £80,000 to enable detailed proposals for redevelopment. In autumn 2010, the proposal was successful in securing a second funding of £1.5 million from the Heritage Lottery Fund, which was matched with £1.5 million from the London Borough of Walthamstow. Subsequently, a major redevelopment was carried out. The building was closed for refurbishment and redevelopment in 2011 and was reopened in August 2010. The redevelopment of Walter House, designed by architects and exhibition designers Pringle Richard Sherratt, included a new wing inspired by Georgian and Victorian presidents, containing a 60-metre square gallery for temporary exhibitions, as well as a tea room with windows incorporating a Morris thistle thrift pattern and a balcony that overlooks the gardens. Thank you all for watching and hope you enjoyed this little trip to William Morris Gallery, and I shall be bringing you more very soon. Thank you. And how was that video for you guys? Hope you enjoyed that little trip into the William Morris Gallery. Give us a like if you enjoyed that video, and give us a comment as well if whatever you thought of it, if you're going to be heading down to there as well and checking it out. And also, obviously, I'm going to be bringing you a lot more video content of going out to different other places. There may be murals on the walls, paintings, graffiti, and more art galleries, statues, all that sort of thing as well. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching that video. And that's the end of the show, folks. Thank you all again for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and turn on notifications so you know when I upload a new video. My name is Romeo. This is Romeo Sketches, signing off. Peace out.